gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. Let the light shine through. sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to TT Masters League. This is Division number 1, and the second round of the championship takes us to Hanoi for the Vietnamese Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box, as always, is the lovely, the fantastic Mr. James Head. James, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really well, Kieran. How's yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Looking forward to a brand new circuit on the calendar. And obviously, when we come to a new circuit, hopefully it's on your screens now. When we come to a new circuit, James, there's a lot we have to unpack. Mainly circuit layout, but also a chance to have a look at a circuit that, from bird's eye view and from the laps that I've done, is going to be very tricky for overtaking. Racing clean is going to be a challenge here, and it's almost like it's another Baku.
It is almost like another Baku, I think, and this will be the single most demanding track of the season for these drivers. There is no doubt about it. These guys are literally being thrown at the deep end for round 2 of the season. 23 turns, as I say, await the drivers, 18 minutes worth of qualifying, 28 laps in total, and a lap distance of around 5.6 kilometres as well. There's that very twisting section through into the final sector, that S section almost, where you literally flick left, right, left, and then go through the next couple of corners up towards turn 22, and then do a double right into the home straight once again. It is such a demanding track, and honestly, I'd be surprised if actually if everybody does not hit the wall. To be honest, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at it, there's a long straight all the way. Pretty much, you go back on yourself and then all the way down the isn't straight. A couple of right-handers in there as you make way now down towards the very heavy braking zone there. And obviously, it's a brand new circuit, so tyre choice is going to be critical. Yes, it's a street circuit, but also at the same time, it's a brand new street circuit, so there's not been a lot of racing, so the track's going to be, in theory, quite abrasive. It won't be rubbered in, so the drivers might suffer with a lack of grip in this first round of the season, but hopefully they'll be able to push through that and find themselves an opportunity to get things underway. And of course, if you missed last time's stream, well, where on earth were you? We'll put some standings on the screen for you just to get you up to speed. But I mean, it was a fantastic race. We obviously do have an alternate point scoring system, which we will get onto in just a second, but it is Medium Pilot leading the way, 32 points. Couldn't quite get that fastest lap, unfortunately, but he is at the top of the table. It's Josh in second, Calsper rounding out the top 3, with Dobby. We'll get onto him in a second. He had a fantastic race last time out, from 16th to 7th in the point standings. Had a fantastic drive on the Haas, and he'll be looking to get that momentum forward. We look at the bottom half of the table. There you can see a couple of 0-point scorers, and of course, if you don't start the race, you obviously get 0 points. If you don't make it to the checkered flag, you don't get any points. So the important thing is making it to the checkered flag, scoring those points, because the point system goes from first place down to 19th with 20th, if you get to the flag in 20th, scoring 0 points. And speaking of the points system, well, if you're new to TT Masters League, you've got a new point system to learn. First place, as you can see, scores 30 points, with second place scoring 25, third place scoring 20, and as you can see, it scales down all the way down to 19th place scoring 1 point and 20th scoring 0 points. 2 points are on offer for the driver that gets pole position, and a fastest lap bonus point is awarded to anybody who finishes the race with the fastest lap of the race. So lots of points on offer, lots of chances to get those points, and as we say, points mean prizes, which of course is what TT Masters League is offering you right now, a giveaway if you like. Have a look in the description of this video, and hopefully maybe in the chat on the right hand side or down below, wherever it is for you. If you're watching theatre mode, it might be there, but there will be a tweet from TT Masters League following the release of new merchandise from Stick 'em Up. So they're giving away a t-shirt, hat and vinyl of TTML to one lucky winner in Europe. All you have to do is follow TTML F1 on Twitter, follow Stick 'em Up UK, and then like and retweet that tweet and tag 3 friends. There you go, 4 steps, and you could be walking away. You could be having a new shirt to wear, a new hat, and something to put on your PS4, maybe even your PlayStation 5. Hopefully that comes out in November, but you know, we're all awaiting the news, just as we're awaiting these servers. Hopefully they get underway very, very shortly. But yes, have a look in the description down below whilst you're waiting and enter the competition. It's as simple as that. But James, I have to say I'm very jealous of that one, because that means we can't win the prize, but it does look pretty good, I have to say.
Yeah, it looks really good, and I've got to put my hats off quite literally to the guys at Stick 'em Up for really giving us all this merchandise, and I think it's fantastic to try and integrate TTML within a wider community as well, and I think that's what it's all about, trying to bring together that F1 community and trying to bring together the best of the racing out on track, and we hope that we're going to give it to you. I've just had a look on the online servers, however, and most lobbies, if not all lobbies, have only 1 or 2 people in, so it's not looking great.
Okay, well, obviously we'll keep you up to date with everything that happens, but whilst you're here, we might as well tell you what's going to happen for the rest of the week with our weekly schedule. We have it all planned out here. So tonight, obviously, you have the Vietnamese Grand Prix for TTML Division 1. Tomorrow we have Formula 2, where they head to the Spanish Grand Prix. Obviously not to be confused with Division 2s, these will be in the actual Formula 2 cars. On Thursday you can watch TTML Division 2 and Division 3, which both kick off at 8 o'clock. And Friday you can watch TTML Division 4 and Division 5 on a Friday evening. What a better way to start the weekend. But I have to say, I will say I'm commentating over Division 1, racing in Division 2. It's quite surreal. But James, you actually managed to catch me spinning off in Division 2, which, you know, yeah, fair enough. You caught me. There's nothing I can say to defend that.
I'm not going to lie it down, to be honest, from Thursday night, with catching that spin, and I instantly said, I think, that I commentators cursed you, which was, yeah, not great. From one commentator to another, I'm sorry.
Ah, it's all right. I accept your apology, your noble apology there. But obviously, when we come to, like I said, Vietnam's a new circuit, so I myself have been putting in the lap times. I've been doing a career mode. Vietnam comes up, and you just think, well, actually, from the looks of it, I was a bit sceptical to begin with when the laps came out. But once you actually start driving this, it's a very challenging circuit, James, isn't it?
It is a very challenging circuit, and I think I've hit the walls quite a few times whenever I've been in time trial trying to set a lap. I did improve by 0.2 on a lap that I did earlier on this evening, but it is one of those tracks where if you get one corner wrong, it can really throw the momentum sideways, quite literally out of the door. And these guys have got to be on the ball at every single point in the track. Even down the straight, there's a wall that goes through turn 10, a little kink going through turn 10. There's the inside wall. If you get too close to that, it could knock off your right side end plate, which could be disastrous for some of these guys. But as I say, this track really will test the demeanour and really test the mentality of the driver, not only because of the tyres, but because of the ERS management as well. We've got that big, long straight, pretty much going back on us down towards turns 11 and 12. That could be the difference if you save up enough ERS management between getting the win and getting second.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a challenging circuit, a brand new circuit, I should say, don't forget that next week we're heading to a new circuit on the calendar, but not necessarily a brand new circuit. We head to Zandvoort next week, so you don't want to miss that one. That is going to be a high octane action, open circuit, but very challenging with the amount of corners and amount of high speed corners there are around that track as well. To keep you posted, I don't think I've received any invite just yet. No, I've just checked that and I haven't, which is unfortunate. So we're going to be waiting around for just hopefully a little bit longer. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you up to date as and when we reach a decision there. But for the meantime, we could just sit back and have a chat about what we're hoping for in this season. Now, obviously, you and I, James, were watching that Australian Grand Prix last time out in TT Masters League. But who would you say was a driver that really sparked your interest?
I've got to be honest, I said it from qualifying. Medium Pilot really impressed me, I think, in terms of his pace. I mean, he won the race, he set pole position as well, didn't get the fastest lap. And I kind of brought it on myself by saying he's going to be the guy to beat. I'm not wrong, to be honest, after the first race. He's 7 points clear of Josh, got Carlsberg behind as well in third, Carlsby fourth. But some of the guys that didn't necessarily score on the points or didn't necessarily have a good race last time out in Australia, Bianchi and Venom were the two main ones that I think taking out of that race will improve significantly here in Vietnam. And I think Bianchi and Venom could land themselves on with a very good result. But you never know what is going to happen.
No, absolutely. Not at all. And that's so important when you come into a race like this, where the unknown is really the order of the day. With these quick guys out there, letting them loose on a brand new track, it's going to be very, very tricky, but we'll have to see how everything goes out. I wonder if we can just pop the podium finishes from last time out, which of course was Media Pilot, Josh and Kalsper. I mean, that top three alone is a fantastic podium to have, let alone the rest of the grid, James.
Yeah, for sure, and I think, to be honest, these guys will have landed themselves in a very good spot in the podium positions. I mean, we had, as I say, Medium Pilot Josh Kalsper on podiums in the first race. But take our attentions to Dobby as well. He really impressed last time out. Started 16th, finished in 7th as well. The Haas man doing a fantastic job out on track. Hopefully we're going to get this underway because I cannot wait.
Yeah, and it always seems to be us, James. We seem to be the problem. we had issues starting this one last time out in Australia. Now we've just broken it completely, James. I've got to be honest. Whatever we're doing, we've got to stop.
We have got to stop, yeah. Totally.
We've actually got to have a stream at some point, I hope. So fingers crossed, keep hanging in there, and we'll do our best to give you a stream if we're allowed to. Obviously, if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time TTTV goes live. And we're live pretty much every day of the week, apart from, well, Sundays and Mondays, I think it is. That's the only days off we have. That's it. In fact, Sundays not even then, because you've got CRC, competitive racing.
Yeah, the IndyCar.
Well, yeah, so even then we don't take weekends off. It's just the Monday. That's it. Every other day we're racing, so it's great to see. So make sure you do follow the channel, and there's all sorts of motorsport on a couple of different platforms as well. So you're not going to be totally out of the blue if you want to have some racing action. If LMP cars are more your thing, then obviously Saturday nights are the ones for you with CRC here live on TTTV on Saturday nights. And I think, if my memory serves me well, that's the only series TTTV shows that's not open wheel, which is pretty interesting.
It is not open wheel, yeah.
So if that takes your fancy, obviously Saturday nights are the place to go. It's going to get to a point where we're going to start talking about the weather, James. So if you've got anything, anything at all, you just jump right in. But obviously, I've said before, when we look at the calendar, we've got the Netherlands next. And then we really don't make it easy for the drivers, because then the fourth round of the season is at Monaco. That is going to be such a tough time. And that is a true race of attrition. It's just getting to the end of the race.
It is, and I think, honestly, these tracks could define the season, to be honest. We've got Vietnam, hopefully this week. If not, it might be next week. Then we've got Netherlands at Zandvoort, brand new track, loads of bank corners there that can really test the driver's intrigue. And then we've got Monaco, which is just going to be... Can I call it a war of attrition? I think I can.
You can call it something of an attrition, yeah. I'll let you have that one. But at the moment, we've got no joy at this moment in time.
I've just seen an update, actually. Dan has said in the Discord, if we could take a stream break if nothing is working again, but by 8:30 the race would be cancelled. So we're waiting until 8:30.
Well, I think we'll keep nattering away, James, until 8:30. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking we could get one or two drivers in maybe for an interview.
Ooh, you're pushing the boat out, James. Don't like these new
Are we allowed
ideas.
to extend our budget?
Well, I've got a budget of £2.50. How far can that go?
Not very long.
Yeah, not very long and not very far. But yeah, we'll find something to talk about at the time. But like I say, the race calendar as well. It's not just Monaco that's going to be a real attrition here. Hungary is normally not a well-liked track on the calendar, but to me, I quite like Hungary. Some people call it Monaco without the barriers, but there's a good bit of history behind Hungary, and good racing does happen there from time to time.
Yeah, I've covered a lot of good races actually in Hungary in my time as a commentator, and obviously the Hungaroring is going to come up round 7 of the championship, but before then we've got Canada, I think, as well, which could test the drivers' limits quite literally in terms of track limits, and also because of the barriers, especially through the wall of champion chicane. Hungary, though, round 7 could be quite interesting. It is one of those. It is like Marmite, to be honest. You either love it or you hate it. And I think for me personally, I love it. I love commentating around the Hungaroring because literally you could get overtaking at, to be honest, any point on the track. I've seen an overtake around the outside of turn 10 before, which was absolutely unreal.
Madness. No, it can't be done. It cannot be done. I don't believe you. No.
It could be done.
No, I don't believe you. But then we've also got the Italian Grand Prix, Russian Grand Prix, United States Grand Prix, and then the Brazilian Grand Prix. So it's 11 rounds. It's a short, sharp calendar, but it feels like towards the end of the season is when the drivers will start liking the calendar again, because I know there aren't many fans of the Russian Grand Prix. There aren't many fans of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Italy is a bit of a... We'll throw this in there because everybody loves Italy, apart from lap 1, turn 1, which can be a little bit of a minefield if you're not careful. But this is this is quite a tough calendar. I mean, it feels like... I know they've done every odd numbered round in the championship, but what it feels like is they've picked out the 11 toughest tracks on the calendar and just said, you know what, we'll put them all together and see how you do, which is tough.
It is very tough, and I think, honestly, it is technically demanding, I think, for these drivers out on track. Obviously, Vietnam tonight would be a fantastic race. Obviously, hopefully, we'll get the servers up and running so we can see that. But it's one of those tracks that really will catch the driver out if they're not careful. And I think, honestly, that can be said for most of the tracks during the season. We've got Netherlands, we've got Monaco up next as well. So those two tracks are going to be quite keen on the eye. But where we get to around round 8 or round 9, Italy, Russia, that will be the point in the season where I think we'll begin to see the men from the boys. We'll begin to see the championship contenders, maybe even a championship victor getting crowned. Because I think we crowned in TTL last season Calsper about 2 rounds before the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we're going to go to a final round showdown in Brazil. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. Let's hope that it goes down to the wire. You always want a championship that's as close as it possibly can be and right down to the wire. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But as you say, this track really does challenge certain drivers and challenge to see who is going to be the best of the best. We knew, James, that when this merge happened, there was going to be a lot of quick drivers going head to head out on the track. And whilst Australia was only the first chapter, Vietnam, a brand new circuit where I know people are putting plenty of time on the track, turning the wheels, turning up the miles, and basically time trial after time trial, Grand Prix mode after Grand Prix mode to understand how the tyre wear works, what the track is going to be like, how it evolves, what are the chances of rain, because it's dynamic weather. So you've got to have an understanding of how often does it rain. From the races I've done at Vietnam, rain doesn't seem to be too much of an issue, but never say never.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that, to be honest. I don't think I've ever done a wet race around Vietnam, either in Grand Prix mode or actually online in like an unranked lobby. So it could be quite intriguing. Obviously, with that dynamic weather, there is that chance that there could rain. We could get intermediate conditions or we could get full wet conditions. But most of the times, most of the tracks that we'll go to probably is going to end up dry. And if we go, if say the Netherlands is going to be next week, I hope to God we don't get rain there. Because can you imagine going around the bank corners with wet conditions? It'd be horrible.
Well, the
banking like driving on ice.
Well, the banking around the final corner will bring all the water down to the grass on the inside. So, don't know about that one. We'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. But I'm sure everything will be fine. Don't worry about it. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the sporting world. If you're a fan of football, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about there. But there's a new game that's been released. I'm looking at you, Takeshi's Castle in Game 4. But, you know, it happens. These things happen. It's a launch day of a new game. Something is bound to happen. But I think, for the most part, it's frustrating that it's been 2 weeks in a row that the start has been slightly delayed due to these server issues. I mean, last time in Australia, it was an update that was released half an hour before the stream was supposed to start. So that was a little bit annoying, but, you know, we got through it. And now it just seems to be a server issue. I don't know whether it's affecting other platforms and other games, but something's not quite right. And hopefully we get a fix in, well, what will now be around 10 minutes' time. Otherwise, there have to be serious considerations about postponing the race. But we won't think about that yet, because that's 10 minutes away. And in 10 minutes, we can talk about a lot of things to bore you to sleep, I wonder. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been hyped about this season. I've been hyped about these drivers. I've been hyped about these streams. You know, you, myself, and Tom, we've been in these pre-stream briefings, which is something we don't normally do. Something that doesn't normally happen across streams is a proper briefing about, right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. How did it go last week? What could be better? What did we do differently next time? Everything like that. And it's just, I don't think I've come across a stream that works that way, and I just love it. It's I love being here, and alongside James as well. I mean, it's just fantastic to be part of this fantastic merge, and it's delivering us great racing, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I've been part of a setup where obviously we have the graphics shown on one stream, and then we've got the lead commentator, Kieran in this case, streaming on his channel as an unlisted video.
No one knows about that.
No one knows about that, yeah. But it's just madness, to be honest, and it comes to show the hard work and dedication that all of us put in for TTML. And with the merger, I think, obviously we had TTL, we had the graphics introduced towards the end of the season, but now we've gone from strength to strength. Tom, I'm sure he's probably waving frantically in the background and trying to catch your attention. You never know, there might be a face cam come up on the stream at one point.
That'd be great,
wouldn't
wouldn't
it?
it?
That'd be fantastic. We may as well tonight.
We're now both desperately looking at our screens to see, is there going to be a face cam now? I don't know. But you never know. But another thing I was going to say as well is that when you look at the lineups of, I mean, there's some drivers here I've known for quite some time, you know, in the 2.5 years, and I think they are quick drivers, and they're still not in Division 1. That is how tightly contested that division decision making was, and I really don't envy the admin team for having to decide which driver goes in which division, because that just seemed like an impossible task where everyone is going to be looking at their division results and what division they're in, and there's always going to be one or two that aren't happy with what division they're in, whether it's too high, too low. You got to find that perfect balance between, right, their race pace is like this, their qualifying might be a bit off, but they are a good racer, and you've got to weigh it all up, and it's just, as I say, I don't envy them, and the work they've done to give us the grids they've got, I can say from first hand, are very quick.
Yeah, really quick. And to be honest, I've been in that position before where I've had to do driver placements, and honestly, it is such a hard job because you collate literally like 100 drivers worth of data, worth of lap times, worth of time trial laps, whatever the league decides to do, and then collate that and then see who's going to be the best fit for the best league. Honestly, from my perspective, I've got it wrong on many occasions, so it's good to see that we've got really consistent grids, and it's fantastic to see the pace that everyone can provide. Even you, Kieran, you can provide some great pace in Division 2, even though you're a reserve, and I know that Alfa Romeo seat is crying out with your name on it. We'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, well, you know something. You're too nice, because there were 2 safety cars, and the second safety car brought me straight back into the race. So, a bit misleading there, but, you know, there you go. I got to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, these are going to be so tough. I mean, what we're seeing right now in our commentary Discord is they haven't taken a break here. What is going on? Well, when you're a commentator, you have to learn to. There will be gaps, and you have to learn what to talk about in those gaps. It's just good practice. But yeah. So it looks like there's a decision that's going to be made in around 7 minutes' time. I'm just desperately looking to see if there's any sort of invite, and there hasn't been one yet. So obviously we've got a time limit to keep. Obviously we don't want the race going on too long, because under normal circumstances, if we get underway at 8 o'clock, we normally finish at around 9:15. So if we started it now, we could be looking at 9:45. And for some of these drivers, you have to be fair to them, that is quite late.
It is very late, and you've got to think as well, we've obviously got different drivers in different time zones. Say, for example, Recon obviously being from the Netherlands, and Tom as well, who's behind the scenes, being from the Netherlands. They're an hour in front of us, so they're literally at 9:20 roughly their time. We are 8:20, so we're only an hour behind. But that is that could be a big difference when putting in for a league, I think, because drivers might make like an hour and a half free every single Tuesday night. And then if something like tonight happens and we put it back and we postpone it to like 8:30 and we try and get it started for then, it might mean they miss the race, which is unfortunate, but it's understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of that you've got to find the perfect balance of when do you have to make that final decision, and it's not a position I want to be put in. That's why I'm not making that decision. Just to be very clear, neither of us are making that decision. This is something we just have to relay to everybody else. But as it stands, we're waiting, we're hoping that we can get racing underway, but who knows what could happen at this point. Just to give you a quick reminder then of what we're looking at for the points standings. I mean, I know it's only one race, but you have to take into account of those points scorers. It's looking like a pretty competitive field. Obviously, those guys with the 0 points next to their name, they've just got to make it to the checkered flag. But other than that, it's a short season, so non-finishes in a point-scoring system that rewards you for being at the top, but also rewards you for finishing the race, is quite a compromise there. If you have a bad race, there's that incentive to get to the end of the race, and it gets you further up the table. Then you've got the fastest lap, which is awarded to any driver, as long as they finish the race, if they've got the fastest lap. And to save people trying to have an alternate strategy, and to ultimately try and make the racing closer, there's points now for pole position. So that encourages drivers to go on the softest tyre possible to get the fastest lap on the track. So then the decision has to be made, do you go for the fastest lap in qualifying and get the 2 points, but then you could be left stranded if you don't win the race because you'll be scoring fewer points, or do you prioritise saving your tyres, qualifying a bit lower down the field, but then making your way through the pack like I did in Division 2 by purposely spinning out. It happens, you know? I totally dropped it on purpose.
You didn't. You really didn't. People tune into Division 1 and have no clue what happened in Division 2 might not know that. So, yeah, I think you might get away scot-free with that one.
I definitely will. Absolutely, definitely will. But yeah, as I say, I know firsthand what it's like to race against. I mean, even Division 2, most of the drivers there are quicker than me. So it's a good thing I'm not in Division 1 because I would be lapped 5 times on a 3-lap race. I'm going to tell you that right now. But thank goodness for the safety car. That's what I'm going to say. It was quite astonishing to have that second safety car. And I'm straight back into it. But I don't think... correct me if I'm wrong, James. In that Australian race, we did have a safety car, didn't we? We had the one at the start of the race. Is that right?
No, we had 2 safety cars. I think.
Have 2.
We had 2 safety cars and either 1 or 2 VSCs. So I think we had like 4 periods where the race was disrupted, essentially.
Huh. See, a lot can happen in a week. It's sort of like, I can't remember how many full course yellows there were. A lot, as it turns out. But yeah, with Vietnam, with the walls being as close as they are to the track, that just encourages the safety car to have more of a chance of being deployed. It's already got a high chance of coming out at Australia because it is a street circuit, and you're going to find that at street circuits. I know at the Dutch Grand Prix, when we go to the next round, if someone has a crash at the banking at the final corner, that is normally a safety car if they crashed and they're out of the race. So the safety car has been refined. It was refined in the last game to come out at certain points when it deemed that the car that had crashed is in a dangerous location, which is fine. So I think it does make the drivers think about certain moves because they think, well, actually, if I'm out of the race, this causes a safety car. That could help my rivals in the long run. It's one of those scenarios.
It is one of those scenarios, and to be honest, especially around a track like Vietnam, Turn 1 reminds me of like Italy, I think. Because if you go literally hell for leather down into the first corner, 150 mile an hour, get the car stopped, there's going to be that Constantino effect, and especially as we go through turns 2 and 3, that's where it could really bunch up the pack, and you could see the odds and ends of front wings going off and whatever, and that could bring out a VSC or a safety car. I'm not saying it could happen, hopefully either this week or next week, but it really is one of those tracks where where the race could essentially be split up into 2. We could have a safety car that could come out and benefit the bottom half of the field, where the top drivers don't pit in, like they miss the pit lane, for example. And then we get a situation where we get the VSCs out, disrupts the race, but keeps everyone in position. It's one of those things. You never know what could happen until you're actually in the race.
Yeah, and a great place to sit around the Vietnam Grand Prix has to be one of the grandstands just at turn 3. And it's called the, I say turn 3. The grandstand is actually called the Platinum Champions Club Turn 4. And that gives you a great view of drivers braking hard into turn 1, which is a very harsh braking zone, and then making their way all the way around the loop and then through that little chicane that brings you on towards that short back straight. I say short, it's still quite a long acceleration point down towards turn 6. You've also got that grandstand there, the turn 7-8 standard grandstand. That's what they're calling it. That's what it's called. Where it goes back on itself, so you get to see the cars negotiate their way through 6, 7, 8 and 9 all the way then towards that long straight that curves. It's a straight that curves down towards turn 11, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, James, that is now, that part of track is the longest time on the Formula 1 calendar where you are on the throttle pedal. Canada is up there, along with Brazil, actually, on the exit of the last braking zone into turn 12, and then all the way towards turn 1. That probably gives it a run for its money.
Yeah, I think you're on the throttle pedal for at least 25, maybe even 30 seconds running down the straight. There's literally that long of a straight. It takes me back to when they had Delhi, the Indian circuit, in, and that 1 kilometre straight, you're on the throttle pedal for at least 15 seconds. So I don't think I've ever seen a straight that is that expansive. And to be honest, it's also the same at the end of turn 5. It's not as long as out of turn 9, but also that straight is quite unforgiving in terms of getting the power. There is a DRS zone there as well, and that is about a third of what the back straight actually is. So yeah,
it's just one of those circuits where we would love to see the cars racing around here and just see what happens. It would have been fantastic we're getting to that point now where it's a decision has to be made. One hasn't been made yet, but of course we will keep you up to date as soon as we know. And I think, in all honesty, I say it's a short championship, and it is. It does punish mistakes, being an 11-round championship. But obviously, these nerves that are building for this Vietnamese Grand Prix, the fact that they've put in so much effort to basically get themselves ready to go racing, and all of a sudden they're waiting, half an hour, which again doesn't help the nerves whatsoever, and that only adds to that sort of anxious feeling about getting onto a brand new circuit and maybe not getting it into the wall. I mean, I don't envy these drivers having to go through this delay.
I don't envy them at all, and to be honest, it's one of those unforeseen circumstances that you really can't help. These guys have prepared for a week. They've got themselves into a race mentality. They think they're going to race tonight. For that to be taken away from them, it does disrupt the momentum and it does disrupt rhythm, especially if the guys have got later league races later on in the week. So that could really disrupt their momentum. Say they have a whole week of driving around Vietnam, which is probably one of the most boring things you could do if you had a league every single day with Vietnam on during a week. That'd be the worst thing ever. But honestly, I think these guys should be credited because we've got Dan obviously working in the background, trying to make a decision, which is literally putting him under pressure. But these drivers are going to be feeling that sustained amount of pressure as well. To be honest, I feel under pressure, if I've got to be honest. Obviously, with us being in the commentary box, we don't know what's going to be happening. So we're just trying to essentially keep up to date with what's going on. And obviously, it might be a bit boring and there might be things, people tuning out and whatever. We don't blame you, to be honest, but it's one of those things. We can't help it.
It is one of those things, and in the end, we probably will be talking about the weather if we talk any longer. But to be honest with you, it is a shame that we possibly won't get any racing tonight. But we thank you for sticking around. Oh, what's going to happen?
Hang on, I've just checked the session list. There are now lobbies beginning to appear with more than one person, or more than two people in. Okay. So I think if we can try and give it a go, we might be okay. Because I can see one lobby's got 20 people in.
Well, obviously, we'll try and keep you up to date and see what happens. At the moment, we haven't got a lobby, so that's going to be the one concern at the moment. But we will try and get you that news of whether tonight is going to go ahead or not. Is going to be a decision that hopefully will be made sooner rather than later. Now, the latest news is that apparently there is a lobby up.
Yeah.
Now, that's going to be huge news if we're invited to it.
Fantastic. There we go.
Have we got an invite? All right, so Councilor's just sent James an invite. Go on.
And this is in Johan's lobby.
Go on, send me one then, James.
I'll send you one.
All right.
Send you one. Hopefully, this is the start.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've built it up as if this is the start now. So you better be right. You better be right. Anyway, so otherwise your job is going. I'm afraid so, James. Yeah, we'll have to give you a commentary seat away. But yes, hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be getting into this lobby and seeing what happens. And I can only thank you all for sticking around and staying in there, in the seat there, waiting patiently. You've been waiting patiently. We've been waiting patiently too. And at the moment, you won't be able to see it, of course. But at the moment, James and I are in a lobby. There are a few drivers here, and we'll see how quickly it starts filling up. Obviously, it's 35 minutes after the scheduled start time, so it is going to get quite late for some of these, as you say, James, for some of these drivers in different time zones. They could be going on to midnight, give or take. So although there might be a lobby set up, and although there might be drivers ready to go, it might be the case that it's called off because of how late it might finish for some of these drivers.
Yeah, and looking at actually the drivers that we do have within Division 1, Bianchi strikes out at me as somebody that might have to miss this race because he's in Italy. I think Italy's, 2-3 hours ahead of us, and they'll be approaching midnight right there, right now. So it's going to be horrible. He could be racing until, 1:30 in the morning there, possibly.
Yeah, and that's something that has to be considered as well, and I'm sure drivers will make that clear as well. And it's not an easy decision to make, this one. So I think at the moment we're testing to see if there's a lobby that can be set up, a lobby that will work. And I think at that point it's trying to see how many drivers are going to be in this race and whether it's a fair enough number to get racing underway. And it's always difficult when there was a cut-off set and then everything starts to try and work, and it's all really on the deadline. So obviously we can only give you what we know, and what we know right now is that there is an attempt at setting a lobby up for this Vietnamese Grand Prix, but obviously we haven't got to a decision just yet, and we're hoping that some drivers will come in. Waiting all this time and then having to call the race off will hurt, but you know there's not a lot we can do. It's no one's fault, you know, but sometimes that's the way it is. Yeah,
I totally agree, to be honest, and that is the thing where what we've got to consider. These guys obviously have prepared so much. I don't blame the organisers if we do cancel this race. To be honest, some may see it as the right decision, some may see it as the wrong decision. I think everyone can hold their own opinion to it, but currently we're within a lobby. We've stayed here at least a good couple of minutes, so it's looking positive, is what I'll say. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, though.
No, obviously not, as we've still only got 3 drivers in this lobby. So signs are, it doesn't look too positive. We just had another driver join in, though. So,
we're getting there.
Again, it's not a decision I'm making, and it's not a decision that I would like to make. I am just the messenger at this moment in time, but we are getting drivers funneled into this lobby.
Yeah, we're beginning to drop in one by one, but we are now double the amount we had, which is positive.
Yeah, double the amount we had 30 seconds ago, which, yes, is a positive sign. If we can keep going with that exponential rate, that would be fantastic.
If we can get the 17 that's due to race, that'd be even better.
That would be even better, wouldn't it? That would be perfect. But of course,
Christmas coming early.
Christmas is not far away. Actually, we've all been stuck indoors, and actually, it's coming around a lot quicker than you actually realise. But yes, at the moment, we've got less than half of what we expected for the drivers, but drivers are still joining the lobby.
Yeah.
So at the moment, it's looking okay, but again, we can't. The annoying thing for us is we're not making the decision, so we can't tell you, right, it's going ahead, right, it's not going ahead. We can't make that decision. So at this moment in time, we're just telling you exactly what's happening, and at the moment we've got drivers joining a lobby. So what I can assume is that there is going to be an attempt to start this race at this moment in time.
Yeah, we have got half the lobby in pretty much now from what is due to race. We've got 9 drivers in currently. So hopefully, as we do have 9 drivers in, don't we? Yeah, my maths was failing me there. But yeah, we've got 9 drivers in. It's currently looking positive, but again, it's up to Dan and it's up to the rest of the team to put out a message saying, are we going to cancel it? Are we not? Are we going to try and have a crack of it? My personal perspective, let's see how it goes.
Well, you always bring personal perspective in, and it never ends well, James. I've seen your race predictions. You know, they're hit and miss at best.
They definitely are.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But yes, Vietnam, close street circuit, newest track on the calendar, and as I said at the beginning of tonight's stream, I was sceptical at first of this track, and then I drove a 100% race around it, and I thought, yeah, all right, yeah, I can see how this works. Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a race here. After I'd done the 100% race, obviously, but obviously as well, what you have to consider is that it is a brand new circuit. As you said, James, the drivers will have put in countless hours into this track, learning it. There are even some who basically try and race with no line whatsoever at all. And it's trying to learn a brand new circuit from scratch using only your initiative at that point. So that might go out the window, but maybe not. Who knows? But as I say this, it's 40 minutes past the time we were meant to start. And I think, hopefully a decision is made sooner rather than later. Not because we want to see some racing, but for the benefit just of you guys as well. Yeah, it saves you guys having to stick around and ultimately being disappointed if that decision has to be made. But obviously, we can't tell you what's happening. All we can tell you is what we're seeing right now is that there are 10 drivers now in this lobby. So whether an attempt will be made to start this race and to start this qualifying session, again, we're in the dark at the moment, so you'll have to bear with us with that information, and hopefully we can get you that information sooner rather than later. What we will say is, though, don't forget you can follow the league on Twitter at TTML _F1, and it should be on the screen there. Just past 100 followers, so thank you very much everybody there. Also, we've passed we're actually at 535 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely fantastic. You guys are smashing it, so make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. Let's get our number all the way up. The target is 1,000 subscribers. I reckon we can absolutely do that. Let's see if we can do it. Also, your commentary teams are down below as well. So obviously if you want to go and follow us there, you've got my name down there, you've got James as well, so that we don't have to read off our names. Mine is impossible to spell. That's why they put a link, so that makes it easier for everybody. But yes, hopefully we will meet again, and you can follow us on our respective platforms as well. What I will say, James, is obviously this is a track that's never hosted a Formula 1 Grand Prix ever. So it would have been pretty interesting, even in real life, to see what kind of a show they would have put on.
Yeah, it would have been, to be honest. And obviously, it is such a shame that this race was taken off the calendar. Hopefully, we look forward to seeing it in 2021. But given how the world can evolve, it could change. But for here tonight, if we do get the go-ahead, we can look forward to the Vietnamese Grand Prix. We can look forward to 23 corners out on track. And we can look forward to plenty of guys really going at it, hammer and tongs. There are quite a few overtaking opportunities on this track as well. So it's going to promote some clean and friendly overtaking that we like to see and what you guys like to see as well. But as I say, hopefully we can get this race started.
Yeah, or at least a decision.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's we just make a decision and then we'll go with it, whatever it is. So hopefully we get that decision very, very soon. And it feels like I've been saying that for 44 minutes now, but it's true. We just have to hold on and see what decision is going to be made at the end of it. So I was looking forward to Vietnam. It would have been a very interesting circuit, but sometimes it's not meant to be, and then the decision has to be made. Do you cancel it? Do you postpone it? Do you run it another time, etc., etc.? So yeah, there's a lot of admin as well that has to be involved in this. So I can understand why there is that readiness to try and get things moving, try and get the race started. But in the short term, you have to realise that there are consequences as well, where at the moment there's 11 drivers right now, and that could be it, because other drivers will think, well, actually it's going to go on too late. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be. It is a tough decision, but one will have to be made at some point, I hope. Also, just having a look back through the chat, people are loving the intro. Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. Isn't it? Tom has done that to perfection. He's the guy in charge of all the graphics and the videos. So he's your man there. Andy, commentator's hardest task: filling dead space when stuff goes wrong. You're absolutely right, Andy. But I think we did an okay job so far. We don't know how long there's left. He also says, "Don't say the C word." Well, I don't know what C word you're thinking of. Commentary, maybe. I don't.
Curse.
Oh! You've said it. Oh no. Oh no!
Now you curse for Thursday again.
Nah, that's
there you
it.
go.
Thanks, James. Hashtag thanks, James. That's great.
Yeah, that'll be trending on Twitter later.
Yeah, trending on Twitter, thousands of mentions. Could get me thousands of followers though as a bottle job. So I think that's gonna be. You know what? Short term, damaging. Long term, yeah, there's a bit of success to have there. I think. You know,
definitely.
Known as the I could get behind that. I could. I really could. But yeah, anyway. So at this moment in time, we have 12 drivers in the lobby, and I feel like, James, I'm not including you in this. This seems a bit unfair. What did you have for dinner today?
What?
Well, I learned from one of the very best. You may know him as King Kodiak, who has recently taken a step back from commentary. And he said to me, if it gets to a point where you're talking about the weather and you're talking about dinner, try and find something else to talk about because you're running out of stuff. But you know what? 47 minutes so far. We've known about this problem since I think around 7:15. So we prepared for a long time in the commentary box. So let's see. Let's see how much time we're going to get up and around. I wonder if there's going to be an attempt to start proceedings here.
I think there is. Just looking at the recent message that I've just seen, yeah, I think there will be. But somebody has just left. It was Venom.
Which, again, I can understand. Because for some, it will be too late. So I can completely understand that. But at the end of the day, we have to go with a decision. If we're here to commentate, we're here to commentate, James.
Yeah, we are here to commentate. We're here to entertain as well, and hopefully we've been keeping you not from falling asleep, but hopefully trying to provide you with a little bit of expertise as to what this track will be like. And this is my first commentary around this track. So, yeah, this is going to be quite intriguing to see. If it's not my first commentary tonight, it certainly will be on Thursday, where I'm sure, if we can get the graphic up, we can have a look at the schedule if this doesn't go ahead. And we've got, obviously, Formula 2 tomorrow night. That's Aiden Carter and Luke Etheridge, I think his name is, VRT Luke, who's going to be taking you through the Spanish Grand Prix for TTML Formula 2. On Thursday, TTML Division 2 and 3 will be live at 8 o'clock. That's going to be around Vietnam, of course. And on Friday, Division 4 and 5 is also going to be around Vietnam as well. And then Saturday, you get treated to an absolute fantastic race. It's CRC LMP3, and we're around Sugo this week.
Yeah, and as I said, LMP3 is the only series on TTTV that isn't open wheeler. So
yeah,
if you fancy your action there, Saturday night is your way to go. Our very own Andy Campbell races in that one, and I have to say, he's not doing too bad of a job, in all honesty. He's
won a race.
He has.
He won an Algarve.
Yeah, I was proud of him. You know what? Fantastic. You know, it's great to see him doing so well. He puts in a lot of effort behind the scenes, and I know he wants to come back to commentary. I know he does, but obviously life has to come first, unfortunately. But yes, do take your time, Andy. We want to see you back, but obviously, yeah, we have had an official word. The race has been cancelled. I think that was a decision that was going to come eventually, but unfortunately tonight's proceedings have been cancelled. But thank you very much for joining us, one and all, for this one. I'm actually going to leave this session because the race tonight has been cancelled, unfortunately. But hopefully we can tune in. Hopefully you can tune into some Vietnam action very, very soon. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Formula 2 racing at the Spanish Grand Prix, so do not miss that one. James, you are leading that one, aren't you? The Formula 2, is that right?
No, that's Aiden Carter and Luke.
It is Aiden and Luke. You see, I'm getting mixed up with the schedule now. It's all changed. It's all changed and everything. But yes,
I'm driving tomorrow.
Oh, that's what it was.
League Review of GT Sport.
Oh, I see.
Which will be broadcast live if anybody wants to come and see me bottle.
Well, importantly, we've got to watch some Formula 2 action here on TTTV. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you are notified every time the league goes live. And obviously the only day they don't race is Mondays, so it's a really easy schedule to remember. Make sure you follow the league on Twitter. It's at TT Masters League, at TTML F1, hopefully on the screen there. And don't forget about the giveaway. Make sure you check that one out as well in the description. The description is also the place you can find those lovely Twitter links as well. So if I made it too difficult with the names and naming the handles, they're all in the description. So go there and click them all at your heart's content. Unfortunately, sorry to have to end it with no racing action whatsoever, but I hope you've enjoyed the musings that has been James and Kieran. But hopefully we will see you next week for whatever race comes our way. James, it's been a pleasure to, well, have a chat with you basically for 50 minutes.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you as well, and hopefully we'll get some action, more short-term Thursday, but hopefully longer-term next week.
Absolutely, and hopefully we will see you all there too. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?